morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is so good to see you all here. Our theme this month is belonging. And today, as many of our church friends are off at our annual church camp in the San Bernardino Mountains, we are also thinking about camp. The flip side of belonging, maybe the dark side of belonging, is exclusion or even exile. I imagine those of us who have been to camp, day camp, or sleepover camp, the feelings of belonging and the feelings of exile may both come to mind. For some of us, there are enduring happy memories from camp experiences as children or family camp as adult. For others, camp was something other children did, maybe something only children on TV did. For a few, going to camp was traumatic or just boring. If you were sent off to camp as a kid, did you want to go? Or were you told you had to go? Was camp mostly fun? Or was it full of mysterious traditions that just made you nervous? Did you get sent on a snipe hunt? Did you worry about the ghosts from the ghost stories? Did you fail the swimming test on the first day? Did you make friends that you still think about? Did you sing songs around that campfire that made everything, even the bugs and the mud and the lumpy mattress, worthwhile? Were the trees or the lakes and the stars amazing or just kind of disorienting? The issues of belonging can be so complicated at church, at work, in the family, and even at camp. I always got the feeling that those who organized camp were hoping for a certain kind of balance that was hard to find in our normal life. Balance, I suspect, is something many of us long for. As we gather together today, online or in Santa Monica, we are creating maybe a bit of our own balanced camp life ourselves. Space out of the ordinary with a chance to create our belonging for ourselves and for others. Come now, let us worship together.
And so we light our chalice this morning as we remember and think about our friends who may be sitting around the campfire or enjoying the sunset or sunrise above the smog of Los Angeles. We remember that this week coming is the autumnal equinox, and so some people may be preparing to dance around a bonfire or dance naked under the stars, and so, or to look at the fire in the eyes of their beloved. And so wherever the flame is for you in your life and in your memory, we light the chalice this morning, remembering that it also bonds us together as members of this beloved community.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. to lead in love. We shall be known, we shall be. We shall be known, we shall be. We shall be known, we shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known, we shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the world. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
I really want to give thanks for our music. Wow. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Community Church of Santa Monica. I am Chela Metzger, your worship associate for this service. And please know there are dedicated staff and volunteers making all of our online and in-person work happen today. We're so glad to have all of you present with us in the sanctuary, and we're also grateful for the technology that enables so many of you to connect with us online. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we welcome you here. If you're new to our community, you can find many ways to learn more about our community and become involved. Check out our website. Talk to us after the service. Please know that while we are still in the process of reopening for larger in-person gatherings, we are here. We are in person. We are doing some things like coffee in person a little differently, but we're still doing them. Also, we're holding many meetings and small group gatherings online. We have programs to serve the needs of our congregation and to be of service to the larger world, including broad religious exploration and personal development for people of all ages. We also join with other social justice advocates to work for justice and harmony of our the justice and harmony of our world. Unitarian Universalism is not defined by creed or by dogma, but is guided by principles that affirm the worth and dignity of every person and encourage an individual search for truth and for meaning. We honor the wonder of existence. We believe that we are all connected to each other and to the interdependent webs of life. Our beliefs are drawn from scripture, from science, nature and philosophy, personal experience, and ancient traditions. We are an open, affirming, and welcoming congregation, diverse in backgrounds, identities, spiritualities, and philosophies of life. We are united in our desire to create an inclusive, beloved community, to live the principles of our faith, and to serve the wider world. Whatever your beliefs or faith tradition, we invite you to help us build a community where together in our diversity, we make covenant in love and in justice. May you find comfort, camaraderie, and inspiration here. As we gather in this space and in our virtual spaces, we recognize that we are connected to one another through the winds that give air to all beings and to the waters that move deep in the earth and up to the sky. We acknowledge that the ground beneath our feet is and has always been the home of indigenous peoples, many who have been forcibly removed to other lands. All right, I do have a few announcements. During the months of our current construction project over on Arizona area, the bathrooms on the first and second floors will be blocked off. So the only bathroom available on our campus are the 3 over in the cottage out there and 1 in the sanctuary lobby in the back and to the left. We're sorry for the inconvenience and appreciate everyone's understanding. During the Dining for Dollars bidding, which is a way we have community activities and raise some money for the church, is now open through September 25th for events happening from October 1st to January 1st. You can use the Octria website to bid. I want to offer a huge thanks to all involved in making that happen. And another huge thanks to all who have created a new church website. Woohoo! The new website is at uusm.org and it rocks. Lots of work happening for the UU The Vote. Midterms coming up. Please talk to Jackie Weber or talk to anyone outside for more information and check out our website. And if you did not get to our UU Santa Monica Church Camp this year, but you would like to have, plan for this same weekend next year. We welcome all to this family camp experience.
Please rise in body or in spirit for our opening hymn, which is, I believe, 401, not 1, 401.
Kumbaya,
All right, please join me in the covenant, first in English and then in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with each other. While we're waiting for a moment for it to be in Spanish. Yes, all right. El amor es la enseñanza de esta iglesia. Buscar la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es la oración. Vivir juntos en paz. Buscar el conocimiento en la libertad. Servir a la humanidad en comunión. Así es como convenimos unos a otros. Now is our time for stories of all ages. I invite Jackie and Teresa, up for that. Okay, thank you, Jackie. And we have Westside Food Bank donations if you have any, just right up the front. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am Jackie Weber, and I have been a member of this community for 20-ish years. And I was thinking for a story of all ages today that I might do like a poll story about like what's your favorite movie where an actor plays multiple roles? Because you'll see me doing You the Vote stuff, you'll see me doing Lunches for Bunches stuff, I've been the camp organizer, I've been the president. But then Kikanza this morning asked if I would talk about Lunches for Bunches.
If you were talking about lunches.
Well, then she asked if I was talking about Lunches for Bunches, and then she proceeded to ask me a number of questions. And I thought, oh gosh, I don't know if you people all know the answer to this question, to all these questions. So, Lunches for Bunches, what is it? Lunches for Bunches is a weekly program that we do to serve our homeless neighbors, unhoused neighbors who live in the area and access services over at 503 Olympic. And 503 Olympic is an agency, it's a building that belongs to the People Concern. The People Concern is a big homeless services agency that works all across Los Angeles County. And what the 503 Olympic Access Center does is they open up every day during the week, Monday through Friday anyway, and they offer showers and laundry, and people come and they access substance abuse counseling services and mental health counseling services and employment services and all the different things that might help them change their situation and help them to improve their own quality of life. So before the pandemic, we used to do Lunches for Bunches once a month because that's what we had the capability to do. And when we came back to campus after it was safe to do so, we thought, well, people are hungry every week. Can we feed them every week? Let's try. And so we got an excellent group of 8 hosts of Lunches for Bunches, and I don't see Joanne in here, but Joanne is going to be hosting this afternoon after service. We got 8 hosts, and everybody rotates through a week where they help pack up lunches for 55 people. And then we take them over to the people concern. We've heard from the staff over there how relieved and grateful they are to feel the support of the community in what they're doing, and how our service to them weekly, regularly, reliably, how it takes a load off them, because they work very demanding jobs providing services to our neighbors. So it helps the staff who feel the support of the community. We've heard from the clients who access the services that they particularly enjoy the Uncrustables that we make, that we provide for them, as well as the Rice Krispie treats and the chips and the fruit, the tangerines. It's kind of exotic compared to what they usually get during the rest of the week. And lest you wonder, why aren't we making them turkey sandwiches or providing them something more nutritious? Because of the pandemic, they're only accepting prepackaged food unless we were to become a commercial kitchen, which we could certainly do. And if anybody here is interested in helping make that happen, a bunch of us are down to support you. So that's why we do all packaged lunches for them. So how much does this cost? It's about $3 a lunch, and we prepare about 250 lunches a month for our neighbors. It comes out to around $700-ish a month, and we need your help to continue the program. So it's like $150, $175 a week. Whatever amount might make sense for you to support the program individually at this time, we're looking to keep it afloat through this church year. And we still need about $5,000 all told to float us through the end of the year. And then the hope is that we will go to the board of directors in the spring and ask for $10,000 a year to be a part of our annual operating budget, so that we can continue to do this program and have it be integrated into our church budget. So that is the story for all ages, and I'm sorry I made Yui sit underneath the chancel here for, or the pulpit for as long as I did. I apologize, Yui. You forgive me? Thanks. All right, that's it. And now Rochelle and I are going to be hanging out with the kids over in the cottage and talking about home and what that looks like in all its many different ways. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jerry.
Forward through the
Has this been bothering anyone?
You're welcome.
You know that if you have joys or sorrows, joys and sorrows, you can call the church office and let them know so that we can announce them from the pulpit. We know that even when you don't do that, that you have joys and sorrows, and this is the time that we acknowledge them. So what we do know is that our longtime member and dear friend Charles Haskell and our new member, Karen Howard, are getting married October 15th, and they have invited everyone to come. How generous. But you have to let them know, because they need to know how many Rice Krispie treats to bring. So they're right there if you don't know who they are. Some of you may remember longtime member Anita Brenner. Her services, her funeral services, will be September 28th, so in about a week and a half. And her daughter will be here. And so wanted you to know that it's a very small service at the mortuary, but you might want to send a note to the family. If you knew the mother, if you knew the daughters, you might want to send them a note so you can get that information from the office. There are enough of us. How do you say the other part of that? Few of us? There are so few of us here that if you have joys or concerns, I would be happy to hear them in this moment. Yes.
Let's hold space
Chloe.
for our dear Javon because she has COVID.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Javon, one of our lead singers, has COVID. So if you're watching, Javon, we're sending you our love. Anything else? Yes. Norm.
We are so pleased that our daughter-in-law just went through a successful surgery for stage 4 colon cancer.
Whoa.
And she's doing marvelously well right now.
Great. So that's
Cross our fingers.
Norm and Bev, and their daughter-in-law has successfully survived cancer surgery, and she is healing and expect to be recovering. So let us take a moment to remember and to reflect on the joys and sorrows of your past week, of the joys and sorrows among your family and friends, of the joys and sorrows within our world. One of the things that I love about the Unitarian Universalist Church is that we come from so many different traditions. And we are inspired by and traumatized by religion and spirituality from all over the world. And so this morning, as we think about camp songs, also want to think about why camp and think about our connection to nature. For some of you, I know the connection is deep and strong and powerful and positive, and for others, not so much. So if you come from a pagan or Wiccan or humanist tradition, we invite you to reflect and thank you for sharing with us the deep connections that we as humans have with those things that are part of our world and life that are non-human. We're going to read together from our gray hymnal, number 552. So I invite you to pull that out. And you may read, you may listen, you may let the words wash over you. You may read silently, you may read aloud. I'll start and we'll go back and forth. In your hymnals, it's in standard font and italic. You read the italics, I think. Yes. Thanks. My help is in the mountain where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give me. Find a rock with the sun on it, and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So I must stay for a long time until I have grown from the rock, and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me or makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. So, how many of you went to camp as children? And how many of you still camp as adults? Quite a few folks. So, what kind of camps did you go through? Family camp? Girl Scout camp? Boy Scout camp? Campfire? Anybody go to NCCJ Brotherhood Camp? Not one of you. It was transformational. Sleepaway camp, where your parents sent you away for the whole summer? Okay. Maybe for a week? Okay. In California, 6th graders used to go to camp every year. They don't do that anymore. But any of you in that baby boomers went to 6th grade camp? Yeah. Say it again?
In Michigan, we did.
In Michigan, you did too? And what did you say?
Outdoor school, it was called, yeah.
Outdoor school? Oh, how awful. I hated camp. I am an unreconstructed introvert. I don't like being outdoors. I don't like being in crowds. I hated camp. When I was little, my mother would lock me out of the house, and I would sit on the porch crying. She wanted me to get some fresh air. I could get fresh air. I could stand at the window, but she put me out the house, and I'd sit on the porch crying until the neighbors called her and said, "Something's wrong with your child." And then my mother would drag me in and say, "You're embarrassing me." No, you're embarrassing me. But anyway, another trauma, another sermon. I didn't want the fresh air because it made me sneeze. I appreciate nature best from behind a window or from a picture. That, however, didn't stop my introverted mother. She sent me away to every camp that accepted colored children. So I went to Brownie Camp and Vacation Bible School Camp and Girl Scout Camp and Methodist Girls Camp and 6th grade camp. We never went to family camp, which is kind of interesting. So I have no memories with family or siblings to balance the loathing that I had for camp. I hated the dirt and the biting insects. I hated everything that aggravates my allergies or made me itch. I hated the terrible feeling of loneliness and abandonment despite being surrounded by dozens of other children. Now, we have friends at de Benneville this weekend, and almost all of them talk about how wonderful it is. So far, I have dodged the bullet. But they talk about the life-giving, transformational experiences that they have at camp. God bless them. I'm glad they're there. It's part of the diversity of our congregation, right? Some go to camp, and some go to the Waldorf. People go to camp because they provide for affordable vacations. They go to camp to connect with people, to commune with nature, to connect with their families, to create community beyond family. For kids, sometimes it's independence from family, give the kids a break from their parents, and for some it's give the parents a break from their kids. And good things do happen at camp. They're community skills. You learn problem solving and cooperation and survival. And perhaps if you go to the upper and higher end camps, you learn swimming or horseback riding, and camps teach values. So as I share my experiences of camp, I invite you to remember some of yours, some of the songs that you sang, some of the friends that you made, some of the things that you learned at camp. Because, you know, there were a couple of things that I did like about camp. I liked the stars. I liked the sky that was so lit up with the moon and the stars that you couldn't see from the city. I really enjoyed doing the crafts, and I liked the campfires. I did not and do not like s'mores. I don't like messy food, but I did like setting the marshmallows on fire. I love that. And then watching them melt off and drop into the flames. And I loved the songs. The camp songs began on the bus ride up to the mountains, and then we sang in the cabins. There were songs to greet the day and songs to say goodnight, songs to sing around the campfire, songs that made you laugh, songs that made me cry, songs that captured our vulnerability, songs that spoke to the tender moments that happened through camp, and songs that made you feel strong and fearless. There were the countdown songs, and I think they probably made the adults and the bus drivers really, really crazy. You know, the 100 bottles of beer on the wall, and then the body songs. I point to myself right here, and you go all through the body, and there's a verse and a chorus for each one. And then the number ones, this old man, he'd play 1 and 2 and 3, and I don't, however far you could count. There was a song called Children Go, I Will Send You. I will send you 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, and on and on and on, kind of like the 12 days of Christmas, although it never stopped. And so you learned how to count. And then there were the work songs. Now, both of my parents are musicians, and they controlled us with music. And so my mother would say, while you're doing the dishes, sing while you work. It makes the work much easier. It also made her know that we weren't arguing or fighting. But there are work songs, and we learned songs to sing while we were doing things that might be unpleasant, like, I'm happy while I'm hiking. But it was a song, and we sang it, and it kept us going. And Michael rowed the boat ashore, and then there was the one, my paddle, keen and bright, flashing with silver. Remember that one? Dip, dip, and swing, dip, dip, and swing it back. If I could sing, I would sing it for you, but I'm not going to. So singing together said, we are community, we're not alone. It created a sense of pacing and managed the work because everybody is working with the same rhythm. It was a way of controlling the kids and keeping them out of trouble. Interesting, similar tactics were used for enslaved workers, were used for prisoners. All of the work songs that are part of our American tradition came out of a need to control large groups of people, and so we kept them singing. Songs taught us stuff. Song taught us memory. Songs taught us to focus. Songs taught us to move in rhythm. We learned singing in rounds and singing in harmony, singing songs with hundreds of verses, singing songs with nonsense words. Like, do you remember Skin-a-Marinky Dinky Dink? And then there was, I never got this one right, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. And then, do you know this one? This is a rhythm song, so listen and then see if you can clap with me. So it's, can you do this? Do it with on your, slow down. Fee, wait, fee, and then you repeat after me. Fee, 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 fi, fee, fi, feast day, feast day, Kumalada, 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 feast day, Kumalada, Kumalada, feast day. Oh no, 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 not the feast day. Decimeter, ooh walla walla meter, decimeter, ooh walla, with the bee billy oatin' dotin' bobo a deetin' dotin' shh. See how easy that is? And it's gonna be in your head all day long. You're welcome. So songs do a lot for us. I remember my godchild came home from his first experience at camp. He was about 8, and he had learned all these wonderful songs. And you know, as we as humans do, we think when we learn it, that's the first time the whole world has ever heard it. So he was teaching me the songs, and then I started singing with them. And he goes, "How did you know that? Were you there?" Yeah, I was a long, long time ago. My worst experience at camp was as a consultant, as an adult. So by that time, I was really clear that camping meant no room service. But they were paying me well, and they said, "It's gonna be okay, Kikanza. We're gonna be in cabins, you'll be in a bed, you don't have to sleep in a sleeping bag." And so I went to Catalina with a boat full of second graders. Those are 8-year-olds. And there was a storm at sea, waves crashing onto the boat. Everyone was wet and cold and miserable, and all of the kids were crying and puking, and it was awful. 3 decks of scared, crying, seasick children. So we sang. We sang to calm them down. And then we sang to comfort ourselves. We sang, "I want to go home. Oh, Lord, I want to go home." We sang, "Kumbaya, come by here, Lord. Someone is crying, someone is calling, someone is praying, come by here. Save us from this." We did survive. There were cabins. They had roofs and beds, but no walls. I don't know if you've been to that place in Catalina. It was awful. My most memorable experience was at Methodist Girls Camp. I went with the minister's wife, Mrs. Stillwell, and her daughter, Barbara, and they dropped me off at the little girls' camp. My mother said, "You're going to be with Mrs. Stillwell and Bobby all week long." Well, one more of my mother's lies. One more reason why I'm still in therapy. And so they took off, Mrs. Stillwell and Barbara took off to the big girls' camp and left me there all by myself. I stood abandoned and forlorn, watching the flames of the campfire dance while the girls sang a song that I didn't know. Silent tears streaming down my face. I didn't know if I'd ever see anyone that I knew ever again. No one was paying me any attention. But then someone did see me. Not one of the adults, but another little girl. And all she did was move over. And she stood next to me. And then she took my hand. She didn't say a word, she just held my hand. But that simple gesture of kindness is one that brings me to tears today. It assured me that I was going to be all right. and a was. And we sang, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. At Brotherhood Camp, we learned about social justice. NCCJ, National Conference of Christians and Jews. They still have the initials, but I think they changed it to be more inclusive of people other than Christians and Jews. We learned about the American history that was not taught in schools. We learned about diversity and equity before they were a thing. We sang, he's got the whole world in his hands. We sang, there's a brotherhood of man, and we didn't get caught up with the fact that it was man, not woman. We sang, there's a tie that binds our noble hearts and minds. We sang, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. NCCJ created this intense connection among the campers and fostered a deep commitment to changing the world. And I maintained lifelong connections to other young people who became social activists just like me. Now, writing home, especially if you were gone at camp for more than a week, writing home was mandatory because you had to let your parents know you were still alive. You may remember a song. It wasn't a camp song. It was a song about camp that Grammy Award-winning writer Alan Sherman wrote. I think it was in the 60s. Hello, Mutta, hello, Fada, here I am at Camp Granada. And there's verse after verse after verse about how horrible camp is. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner. He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. Oh, please take me home. Don't leave me out here in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. So, as much as I hated camp, by the end of the week, going home was a bittersweet experience. It meant saying goodbye to new friends. It meant letting go of camp rituals and returning to life, which was supposed to be different because I had changed. We, campers, had changed. But we were the only ones who had changed. Not much else changed, and we found that out. But riding home, we were still filled with laughter. And the many choruses of every single song that we had learned during the week. The difference was that coming home from camp, all the kids knew all the songs. And so the bus just kind of vibrated with our noise and our rhythm and our love and our laughter. I remember getting off the bus, clutching in my hands the crafts that I had made, small gifts from my parents and souvenirs for me to tuck away into my room. I remember wrapping around me the love and hope that we sang about, holding on to the joy that was symbolized by the camp songs. And sometimes those good feelings lasted for days. And some of those aspirations, those hopes for a different kind of world, they have lasted all my life.
I am resisting singing a camp song right now because I had my favorites. I mean, obviously the more spiritual ones remain in my mind, but the silly ones, those were hard to shake. I'm a little pile of tin, nobody knows what shape I'm in. Got 4 wheels and a running board, I'm a four-door, I'm a Ford, honk, honk, rattle, 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 crash, beep, beep, honk, honk. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. First, let me say we rejoice in giving of all kinds, including helping with putting together our lunches for bunches, as Jackie discussed, for food insecure neighbors, which happens after the service. Be aware, please, that a lot of our tables outside have moved because there's actually a bee swarm happening under our canopy on the patio. So we need to sort of figure out how to handle that. But for now, we've just moved everything over to other parts, so, but it is happening. We also celebrate the opportunity to give to complete our Spirit Grant, to complete the Arizona Street construction, and a generous donor who moved us $35,000 towards our matching grant goal, which is amazing. So thank you, one and all, who have given to those kinds of efforts. It is our practice today and every Sunday to dedicate half of our non-pledged Sunday offerings of money to organizations doing work in the world that advances our Unitarian and Universalist principles. The other half is used to support the life of the church. Disasters impact our congregations and their communities with increasing rapidity. This month, the Unitarian Universalist Association Disaster Relief Fund will receive 50% of our offerings, from natural disasters like wildfires and hurricanes to human-caused calamities. UU congregations, their members, and their community partners bear the impact. The Unitarian Universalist Association Disaster Relief Fund stands ready to help. Our ushers will now collect the offerings in the sanctuary. You can give cash. You may have a check you want to deposit in there. You can also donate by text, online on our website, or by check through the mail. To donate by text, call 844-982-0209 with the amount and fund for the donation. For example, text 10 GCC for a $10 donation to our generous congregation fund. For text donations, a one-time only credit card registration is required, but after that, it just goes right along. So thank you to all of you for all that you give monetarily and all that you give of yourselves to build this community.
I'd like to be free like that, spread my wings so which is 1021, Lean on Me.
This service is over. Our service to the world continues. And so as we put out our little UU campfire, hold the flame in your hearts, carry the flame forward. If you hated camp, there was probably something you loved. Maybe it was just coming home, but find the thing that lights your fire, carry it forward, share that flame with someone else. Go in peace, my friends.
Sorry for not following numbers, because I said I was interested in music lessons and then this week was just but I did want to confirm that we do have Chelsea classes lined up to do it. That's not good. And I really yes, exactly. So okay, great. That'd be fun.